Yo guys, welcome to Crypto MC. Today we're going to be looking at BTC and I'm going to ask that question to myself. Is this a real rally? Is this a bull trap? Do I need to consider that this bottom is in? And if so, what to do? And if not, what to do? So we're going to be dissecting this Bitcoin push. Let's quickly head over to the comments. I'm going to be real brief today. So let's see. Hello, Jockey. Hello, Mohed. Let's see what else we've got. We've got Ashton in the house with us and Altec Codes as well. Hello, buddy. Let's get into this Bitcoin real quick. I'm going to cut the sound and let's get serious. So what do we have here? If we look at this from a statistical point of view, this is the calls that I've made for Bitcoin for the last few months, all marked here. So here I got the buy right. Here I got the sell right. Here I got the buy right. Here I got the sell right. Buy right, buy right, buy right. And then 1, 2, 3 in a row. So at the moment, my stats is 3 losses in a row off the back of 7 wins. And this just brings it all back to about a good 70% accuracy. 70%. And that's what I strive to go for, guys. I mean, the reality is, from a probability point of view, the odds is I'm never going to be 100% accurate. And when we are on a run like this, it always feels nice because the money prints. And when you get something wrong, it feels sucky. So if you look at these failed buy zones, I always say really good buy zones, if they fail, they will end up being good resistance zones as well, which means that if you look at what you're doing, if you had a real good area where you wanted to buy and it fails, price will most often go and revisit that zone, as that is a critical zone of support for a trend that was lost. And then from that point, it will sell off. So the last failed buy zone, here we are at the moment. So the question for me and the question I want to leave with you guys is, if this is the case, if this is the failed buy zone that I was trying to look for off this low, okay, we was trying to look for continuation there. If that is the case, where we are now, if you want to be bearish, it's a really good time to be so again, because now you're not chasing the dump, okay? And then if that is the case, there's a certain hidden bearish divergence that needs to be deleted before we can really start saying to ourselves that we need to be bullish. Okay, so let's take this, and I'm going to share the trading charts today, my prime chart. So what we're going to look at here is this price action, and I say this a lot, and I always like to look at this from a timing point of view. The Gann rule is simple. The amount of time that it takes from the high to for a low to get created, okay, that amount of time, a retrace will typically take half that amount of time. Now, how do you draw that onto a chart? Well, simple. You're going to go to your fib level, and you're going to have a look at your time-based fib zone, that one there, okay? You're going to take it from the top to the bottom, and then you need to open your settings and have them changed accordingly. Okay, 0, a 1, and a 1.5, which means that if this is the amount of time taken, this would be half of that time for the retrace to occur. So at the moment, from a bearish point of view, the retrace is fair. Yes, we broke the trend, but remember I said these trends, you can use them and you can't use them, and they bullshit and they bring a lot of value. It's a bag of contradictories. So what do I really want to say to you guys is the key here is this. Things that go up will go up, which means they will make higher highs. So there we had a high, there we had a higher high. Okay. Then if we look at that entire move from high to low, okay, we're looking for 50%, then we start hunting for our buys. And that kind of signaled the bottom for continuation. Simple as that, okay? Things that will go up, but won't hover around forever, okay? And then if we bring in the RSI to look at that scenario, you'll see that when we got there, we had a higher high and we deleted what? Hidden bearish divergence. So let me quickly show you, mark it out. There's a higher high now and a higher high in price. No more hidden bearish divergence. And that signaled let's buy support. Okay. Now, where we are now, if we go to where price is now, it's about to do the same. We need to now go and break that high. So you need to beat 63,800. So if you see a 64K, you smile. because then Bitcoin has broken the hidden bearish divergence that it's currently suffering from. Now, here's the crazy thing. It's got it on the 4-hour and it's got it on the daily. So you've stuck with this thing on multiple time frames. So you need to treat the trend as if it's going to last forever. And clearly you can say from June, as of the last month, Bitcoin has been trending down. And until that happens, you have to remain bearish for that reason. Why were we bullish then, if I'm saying this, but we were bullish here? Because at these stages, we were still hoping for continuation. These were all valid continuation areas for that to happen. And the fact that that's broken, we now need to switch our mindset. Okay, so I'm excited for the fact that Bitcoin is showing some life. This is now my sentiment. I'm happy to see that there's a real big move, but I also know the following, and I want to bring this to you. CME gaps. Now, CME gaps tend to get filled. So if you really want to be bullish, please don't buy, wait for the price to go and fill the CME gap. Statistically, it's the highest probable area where price is going to go. So every time there is a CME gap, price will go and revisit that range. Every time there's a CME gap, price will go and revisit that range. Statistically speaking, doesn't necessarily mean it holds, but now you have destination areas, small little points in this range where you can say, well, if I want to be bullish, that's the right area for me to be bullish. And if I want to be bullish, please just delete the hidden bearish divergence. So go make a higher high today or tomorrow. And then when it comes into this area, I buy. I buy the dip. I buy the dip on alts. I buy the dip on everything, because then we're trying to do another version of this in here. Worst case scenario. And worst case scenario, we don't go above 66. Best case scenario, we can get above 73 and the bull market is on. And what do I mean by that? Well, we look at the Bitcoin price action now. When we look at the big spectrum of BTC's price in relation to its halvings and in relation to its all-time highs, you can see that once we break the halving and the previous all-time high, that's when we really go ballistic. And that's somewhere around in this blue zone. Now, how do I get to these blue zones? Let's delete all the previous blue zones real quick, show you guys this. So if you take price and you look at Bitcoin as a seasonal, in its seasonality, every 4 years, there's a halving. So if we take the time it takes for every halving to occur, so we use our time from halving to halving, and we use the following settings, 382618, and we take away this, and we need to just say that. So if you look at that, the previous all-time high occurred around that, previous all-time low occurred around the 618. So you can see that that moves in quite harmony with each other. So if we move that over to the next cycle, there you have it, all-time high, all-time low. And if you move this over to our last bull cycle, all-time high, all-time low. So now it's fair to assume that if we want to take this information and project it into the future, it's easy to say to ourselves that, okay, we need to remain bullish, but we can understand that within this zone, this blue zone, let's just move that back in there, that blue zone, when price starts to gain momentum, there can be chop. You look at this blue zone version here. There were scenarios where Bitcoin fell 40%. Okay, that's crazy. In the previous one, if you look at this scenario here, there's scenarios here where Bitcoin fell 25%. That's big retraces, a lot of chop within this blue zone. So building up to the breakaway, we can assume that, yes, there's going to be some chop. So I'm not trying to say, hey, it's bull market straight line to the moon, but I'm saying to you guys is just be mindful to the fact that there is chop. Now, when we looked at these areas, we were hoping straight line, but I gave you guys that argument that, hey, there's a danger that something like this is going to happen. And this is exactly what happened at the moment. So to bring this whole back to Bitcoin at the moment, today is going to be sit on your hands day, which sucks because we want to be in on this move. But I want to make sure that Bitcoin either fails, gives me a fail signal, or goes and gets that higher high. And then I can plan to act for my next zone. Okay. And that's the best we can do, guys, is just sometimes let the market go figure it out. I know there's a lot of speculation there. What's it, the Trump pump and guys, I've never, ever, ever, after hearing about somebody being assassinated, had an insane feeling in the back of me to go buy a coin. So, you need to treat these things. It's the excuse. The news gives us excuse. Our minds are engineered to kind of make sense of things. Yes, so it's because of that, It isn't because of that. It's purely because the market was exhausted. This could be the beginning of a bottoming, but until we go get that higher high, we need that higher high, guys. Until then, it's still trending down, and this is an amazing short zone. And for everybody on the trading group with me, we are trying to, and I'm waiting for a nice tighter stop short. Okay, so until that happens, that's the mindset. You need to be bearish. So let's quickly have a look. Volume is also low on the daily. The volume is tricky because volume is something I used to use a lot, Mohit, but at the moment, volume is really open to each and everyone's perception and trading volume. And there's so much so I tend to just use the RSI instead of the volume. That's what I kind of do, because low volume does signal a big move coming, okay? But low volume can signal divergence. Low volume can signal there's so much when you look at it like that. So low volume when you have divergence weakness for the bulls, because if they were buying, where's the buying now? So there's a lot that can happen there. So I tend to just, we can debate that for hours. So there's the Bitcoin analysis for you guys. My thought around where I think it can go. So if we look at this 4-hour time frame, it's indecisive at the moment for me. And this means that for the alts, the projects that I shared last week, if you planted a seed with some of those coins, and I said, buy them with a little bit and just let them do, those are good. And for the rest that we're still looking for bottoming signals or not quite there, the picture hasn't changed in any way, sort of form, so we're waiting. Now, this is now moved TA away, my personal sentiment. I kind of feel like that's going to happen. Why? Because if you zoom out, all of this is still happening on the monthly time frame. So I'm just going to put a fib on from bottom to top. Okay? And I'm just going to do this. All of this is still happening above the 23.6. So that's bullish. Long-term, big time frame trend still bullish. Okay. And that's the main thing. And if we scale this away, and just to try and put a little bit more sense into this, I'm just going to go on to the weekly time frame. And I kind of pointed to this last week. Said the monthly time frame. We're still 16 days off the monthly close. And now it doesn't look bearish, because what happened? Last week, the monthly candle was below the red line. It's about the close. So in order for us to really change the larger sentiment, I'm waiting for a month to close in there. We're far from that. Okay. So that's why my personal sentiment is that of saying, screw this. I know the last buys has failed, but I'm still going to say rather go long than short. If you're new to this. Okay. So there you have it. Let's quickly have a look at the dominance real quick, because this is going to signal whether the alts are going to start moving. And what I can say is, and let's take away the BTC price. I'm just going to look at the dominance price from a pure momentum or strength point of view. You can clearly see that as Bitcoin was finding its floor, the dominance sold off, everything kind of dumped. And then Bitcoin started rallying and the dominance moved accordingly. And slowly but surely, the momentum, and this is where a trend line does have value, the momentum is broken. Okay. Doesn't mean that it can't chop around and go higher still, but the momentum is broken. And then another thing that I want to point out to you, when we look at this from a ranging point of view, okay, upper end of the range, bottom end, so you break our test. These ranges are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, okay? So it's showing me, as we're getting closer, that the vibrations or this is the, an easier way to just say this, the chop, okay? As the chop is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, it means that at some stage, it's going to start doing what? Trend in the opposite direction. So we're getting close to it, but it's not there yet. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Let's have a look at, let's see what else is there. Total market caps. I don't feel like there's anything crazy that I want to share with you. So coin, Trump coin. Maybe there's a pump there. I don't know. Look, I think one thing that I just want to bring out to your attention, this is yet again, low liquidity trend is broken. Do we have hidden bearish divergence? If you look at it from this point of view, yes. Okay. So we swept the liquidity, but we closed bearish. Okay. So I would rather say that this is going to hurt you more than doing well. We're staying below the 23.6. So if you want to try and get in on a little bit of a meme pump or something like that, I would rather consider not getting in on this one, because the kind of buying that's happening now will not support the coin if it's going to go down. So just be careful of that. Okay, let's have a look at the rest of the alts real quick. And then we can end off the stream. So the important ones, Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum. So this is the take action zone. So I said to you guys last weekend, if you're in a bad place, you're drowning, this is the time to sell. Now it's gone a little bit higher. Let's take away this, and this is what I was worried about. There's the last pivot. There's the area. There's the hidden bearish divergence. So unless Ethereum goes and makes a higher high at 3,500, this is time to still get out if you're in an underwater situation, because what will happen is it will come and test this area again. So even though you sold here, you say you did, you will be able to buy back then, but then you're buying back with a trend again. That's the hope. Okay, so nothing has changed for Ethereum. Let's quickly have a look at BNB. Went to the buy zone, and I said I didn't want to buy because of the current market environment. Now, today you would feel like an idiot, but yet again, look at that hidden bearish divergence. So it's fair to assume once this quiets down, things can happen. Now, note here, this is why I started with statistics. I can be wrong, but I would rather be wrong and then buy with strength than be wrong and buy with a FOMO, because buyers at the moment with something like this is FOMO until the trend establishes itself, and then we can say there's strength there. Okay, Solana real quick. Solana still holding, action zone. Is it going to go and make that higher high? Solana has been very strong. The RSI is kind of giving it weak bearish divergence. So I'm on the fence with this one. The macro view with Solana, as I explained to you guys, as long as we stay above that red line, guys, you're bullish. You're bullish, you're bullish, you're bullish. That's all you need to think about. Okay. Bitcoin Cash, it moved nicely into the buy zone, went through the red line, and it's got hidden bearish divergence. So will it go and test this area? The betting man in me says yes. So I'll be patient with this one. Okay. Bitcoin Cash will suffer heavily from the Mt. Gox sells, because it's not just BTC that was there. It's a lot of Bitcoin Cash as well. And there's no ETF for that. Okay. Let's quickly have a look at Uni. You can clearly see Uni is moving up nicely as well, from the area where I thought, if it's going to go, it's going to go as low as that. But you can see the RSI with all these coins moving up. They're going to run into hidden bearish divergence. And unless Bitcoin does something crazy, woof, like this, the retest is going to become the buy the dip scenario for these coins that we're waiting for. So our patience are going to reward us pretty soon. Okay, so that's everything that I wanted to share with you guys. I promised Peter it's going to be short, and he said, you're lying. You're lying, you're lying, you're lying. And that's about that, because we're currently on a knife's edge. Think of hidden bearish divergence where we are on a knife edge. And remember, your hidden divergence, for those who are saying, yes, but there's on the daily strong bullish divergence. I see that. But remember, your continuation divergence is the stronger one. You always need to weight it in favor. If you're trying to look at every candle for a reversal, you will kill your account. Trade with the momentum, and then that will pay off in the long run. Okay, so that's the important thing. Okay, and then I saw a comment here, Chainlink. So let's quickly have a look at Link. I don't mind quickly opening Link up. Come on, load link. Okay, same thing. RSI is running, price is moving. You've got this pivot. Unless we get above that area, it's just another retrace. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so nothing more to say. Once this happens, this knife edge is resolved, we'll know whether we can buy that wick, whether we need to buy that support, or so forth, because then the market would tell us. So what do I mean by that? Say, for instance, Bitcoin goes to 17, comes back. Okay, this will mean Chainlink is there. So then that is a most probable buy zone of $13. But say Bitcoin doesn't break 63,800, okay, and it just hovers there. Then you're going to hope for demand buy, with the possibility that we have to do yet another strong bullish divergence scenario for 10 then. But it's so far down the road. I don't want to try and, say that I know what's going to happen in the future. We don't. Okay. That's it. That's everything that I wanted to share. Let's quickly have a look at your comments. I'm going to start at the bottom with the most recent, and I'm going to work my way back up. So if I find something and it's maybe out of context, bear with me. That's the way it's going to go. Mohit says he's being patient. Look, it's being patient is good, because good bottoms take time. Okay, so it's good to be patient, buddy. But just don't, and this is the thing, if it breaks those higher highs, don't be patient, because the market's not going to stay and wait around for you. It's going to move, because then you got momentum. So you want it to move, because then you know you're right. If it doesn't move, then you need to be worried. Okay. I'm not going to look at any more coins. I see Vitali. Rudo, GGG pump 50%. Yes, my friend. But just because it pumped 50% doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good or safe trade. It could have dumped 50% as well. And liquidity and all these things. So when I look at something, I tend to make sure that there's at least some liquidity. I don't want to give you guys stuff. And I'm talking from somebody that has made those mistakes. Give you something and then it's not there again 2 weeks from now. Or look at a project and then it just dumps on your asses. So I know you were calling, you were sharing and saying, look at this. But I think everybody could have picked up on the comment, and if they wanted, they could have gone and checked it out. I mean, that's it. So I don't think they missed out on it unless they wanted to miss out, for that matter. And but keep sending them in, Vitali. Don't be discouraged in any case. We can always in the future look at more. Okay. Let's see what else we have. So there you go. Daily bullish divergence. I think I've addressed that comment from you, Pierre. Volume, and that's it. That's it. We're done. We're done for the day. Any thoughts on Phantom? Same as anything else, Jockey. We're in that worst case scenario. There's no divergence. It's probably, if the market's still bearish, which kind of still is, nothing has changed for me. So unless the market changes, let me get back to this Bitcoin. Unless the market changes and we delete that hidden bearish divergence, okay, it's going to go lower. That's what it's engineered to do. Any more upside momentum is going to bring you hidden bearish divergence. So now you've got Bitcoin and the alts all giving the same. Now, it's only ever going to give you one last hidden bearish divergence that gets deleted, and then it's no longer the case. So do you want to bet it? Don't you? It's kind of the way you need to look at that. Okay. But let's end it there. I would love to spend some more time with you guys, but kind of can't. The narratives that we were looking at last week, we looked at gaming, so you can still go and have a look at that gaming video if you haven't. The next narrative is going to be following up through the rest of the week. Layer ones, deepen, all the stuff and so forth. So stay tuned. Make sure to join in for the rest of the week. And for those in the Discord, guys, remember, if you open your Prime account, links in the video description, you can come and trade with me as well. I'm currently not in any trades, as I am waiting for this to resolve to define whether I need to go big again on a long or add to and build a bigger short position for lower lows for Bitcoin 51K. So where we're at now, I can't go here nor there. So it's a tricky one, but it gives you time to get in there. So go open your Prime account, head over to the Discord, and come trade with me. It's as simple as that. You'll get all the information in the Discord, guys. Thanks so much for taking the time, and short show today, I know, but we'll get to everything in the coming weeks. I don't think that we need to be in such a hurry. You have a lovely day, guys. Cheers.
I'll keep hustling.
Subscribe now.